Hello, Mary Meet. So today I want to review a book, and the book I want to review is this one, The Art of Spiritual Healing by Keith Sherwood. It says the subtitle Chakra and Energy Bodywork, and it's an updated and extended second edition. Now, I don't know exactly how it compares to the first edition, because if I have read that, I can't remember it, so then it wasn't very memorable. But I do not think I have read it. It's basically it's a completely okay book, but it is rather standard. So let's have a look at what it contains. We have a list of exercises and a list of illustrations, which can be useful to have up there. We have an introduction about what you will learn. Then you have part 1, Introduction to Spiritual Healing and Analysis. Chapter 1, Healing, Energy and Consciousness. Chapter 2, Enhancing your healing skills. Chapter 3, remote viewing and assessment. Then you have chapter 2, self-healing, absentee healing and laying on of hands. We have chapter 4, prana healing. Chapter 5, auric healing. Chapter 6, advanced auric healing. Chapter 7, chakra healing. Chapter 8, advanced chakra healing. Chapter 9, mental healing. Chapter 10, laying on of hands. And chapter 11, questions and answers about healing. And you have part 3, healing your soul and spirit. Chapter 12, healing karmic patterns. Chapter 14, restoring your soul, if you have lost it along the way, I guess. Chapter 14, healing your spirit. Chapter 4, restoring wellness. Part 4, restoring wellness. Chapter 15, preconditions for wellness. Chapter 16, the 3 aspects of wellness. And then you have a conclusion, wellness every day, a glossary, a bibliography, and an index. So, what do I think about this? Well, it is like one of those variety bags. You are sure to find something you like, but at the same time, it is a very, very mixed bag, and it can't possibly go into depth on all of them. So, for example, the advanced so and so and so is pretty presumptuous, given that the methods that are being discussed often take people quite a few years to learn, and here they are a chapter on a few pages in one book. This book do exactly the same thing that a lot of books like this do. It bites over far more than it can chew. So while there are definitely some quite useful exercises in here and quite a few good points, it do tend to be rather shallow because it goes through some yoga, some various one for energy healing, and I read it and I don't remember all that's in it because it goes over the things so fast. Let's see here. We have some standard energy healing. We have some yoga. We have some aura, some mudras, prana healing, meridians, as in Chinese meridians, chakras. Basically, if it's energy healing, it's in here. The only thing I don't think it goes into is Reiki. And thank the heavens for that, because that would be a bit much when you have all of the rest. What you can possibly say is that this is energy healing for Mak Yoga. And by Mak Yoga, I mean the typical Western yoga that only takes one little aspect of it and forget all about the spirituality and concepts around it. And this is sort of that, but with healing practices. So for what it is, it's not a bad book. It's well written, it's informative, it has some really good and useful exercises. However, I do think that you will learn a lot more if you get a book about each of these topics instead of just smashing them together into one, because then it sort of becomes a bit of a mess. Now I can see that if you are already into some of these topics, like let's say you're into prana healing, then this book can give you some points about how you can start using methods that are similar to what you already know. So that's good. There are some illustrations of what you should do. The exercises are well described. So yeah, the problem with the book is the biting over more than it can chew, the variety pack thing. Because yeah, I mean, at least back when I ate candy, that was the tendency. When you bought a variety pack of candy, you sort of got the one or two bits that you really enjoyed, and you ate all of those, and then you were left with a bowl of things that were sort of okay. And this is exactly the same. So, I mean, it's not a bad book, but I think that you will be much better served saving your money and getting one book about mudras, one book about prana healing, a few books about yoga, some books about the meridians. It definitely goes from it has a mostly yoga perspective, and then I do mean the mat yoga. But it do mix in a lot of other things. Basically, the one person I think this will be good for, the two types of people I think this will be good for, those that doesn't really have a huge interest in these topics, but can benefit from having these exercises available for when they need them, and that I have no interest in going deeper than that. And people who are into one of or other of these fields and want to see if similar fields might interest them. And instead of picking up a whole little library of books, they just pick up this one and just see what appeals to them. That is definitely a possibility. So yeah, will I recommend it? Like I said, to those two types of people, yes. Other than that, well, if you can, I would not recommend getting it at full price, because but that might just be me that aren't very fond of these variety pack type books that just goes into so many topics and doesn't go into any of them in detail. But I sort of was put off by the advanced chakra healing when it's a couple of pages. Yeah, I don't think advanced in your vocabulary means the same as in my book. But yeah, we have some about karma, and you have some about this and some about that. So yeah, there's definitely better books out there, but at the same time, it's not bad. And so if you can find it, see very often these kinds of books, and it's from published by Llewellyn. You can find them in various metaphysical bookstores and regular bookstores as well, discounted some time after it was published. And if you can find it at a decent price, then yeah, you might enjoy this book. But just be aware that, like with any books that covers lots of subjects, there's a limit to how much details it can go into. But it's supposed to be a somewhat of a bestseller, so I guess a lot of people liked it a lot more than me. So I might not be the best person to review it. But yeah, that's my opinion of it. I do not like the just false, velvety, oil slick Satan's ball sack type cover, and somebody asked me what I meant about that. It was been a joke in my videos for a while. Basically, Llewellyn have had a tendency lately to, on their paperbacks, have this sort of finish to the books that I really hate, because it sort of feels slick. It's almost like if you mix velvet with oil, and it sort of sticks to your fingers, and it's not good to touch. I think it's supposed to imitate the feeling of a book bound in cloth, but it just doesn't nail that at all. And when we're talking about the binding of this book, let's see if we can look. It is as flimsy as hell. These covers are the thinnest possible cardstock you could possibly. It's almost like just paper. So my guess is that this book is not going to survive many readings. So if you're a person that likes to read a book many times, then I would say get this on your Kindle. But yeah, I think that's enough rambling about this book. It is my review of The Art of Spiritual Healing by Keith Sherwood, published by Llewellyn. And I hope you have enjoyed this review. Have a great day, and blessed be.